matches up to this, you can just click this, and it's gonna pull up the people on title here. So we got Adam Dutt, and I believe that too is on the proposal. So we can just click his name, and it's gonna automatically populate his name here. We can put an email address and a phone number in here, and select a phone type right now, or we can do that at a later stage. If you're gonna run credit though, and he's already said, let's run my credit, make sure you put in the email and the phone number right away, or else you won't be able to run credit without that. So we'll go ahead and hit save and continue. And so the next screen here is just gonna be selecting the utility company and putting in those inputs. And I would always recommend using this portal on Google Chrome. So if you use like Safari or something, you might see some weird things happen. So it looks like this guy's in the city of Stafford. So it just locked in the city of Stafford utility. Typically you can change this if it was like APS or SRP, not in this instance. And was he at about like 10,500 kilowatt hours, something like that?
11,200.
11,200. You also have the ability to do monthly. You can put in monthly usage if you want. I typically just do annual though for.
Is any one more accurate than the other, or does it really matter because you're guaranteeing the production of the meter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So it might change the estimates a little bit, but. So I'll just hit save and continue here. Let's see here. And so the next step here, we're going to be designing the system. And this is where those inputs are going to come in handy. So you can pull up your solo inputs. And we actually do offer design as a service. It's $20 a request. There's a note section in there. Basically just explain how you want the system designed. One good thing about using this is we'll actually guarantee the outputs. So you'll never have to worry about a change order if our designers do it. There's a little bit of turnaround time, between 1 to 4 hours max for that. And it's a $20 cost.
Well, that might change anyway when they do the site survey anyway, right? So, I mean, this is just all tentative.
None of you are allowed to use that function.
Okay. Forget
Isn't it
everything I just
$15
said.
for solo?
It's just tentative anyway, because
So-
if the site survey gets out there and stuff has to change,
Yeah.
things will change.
Yeah, so assuming it's installed,
Jerry
that's
gets
the
a
deal.
Sunova bill,
But,
$4,800 for the first month.
We're already paying that every
For-
week with
for 3
solo
deals.
fellas.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys already have a solo design, so you just hit no, I'll provide a design. And then those inputs that I just pulled up, so are you guys using the SILFAB panels for the Q cells?
There's a whole bunch that we're using.
Sunfab 330s.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll make it easy on you. And we've got the Titan Solar 330 in here. So your inverter manufacturer, Solar Edge here. You can pick your inverter model. Typically, they can change this later. It's not
If you guys don't know where to get that inverter model, he's just grabbing the 6. If you go back to your, if you guys go back to your
the solo proposal.
proposal, it's gonna show you the panel that you selected as well as the inverter that it automatically selects here.
Yeah, we can do
Hey,
Enphase and
Bill,
Solar Edge.
you guys also give the 25-year warranty on the Solar Edge as well, right?
Yep.
So the inverter is
All
also
the
covered.
equipment, 25 years, labor included. Both. Lease and loan. All right, and so I think we have 23 modules on here from those inputs on Solo I pulled up. We had 23 modules, 1 inverter. The racking that Titan's using out in Arizona is Everest. And then the monitor is just gonna match your inverter. And then the model is just gonna be this first selection, the one that ends in 3G. Other is gonna be optimizers. So I know Titan includes the P340s on all their jobs. So this is like, gonna be pretty standard for all your jobs here. And
If we're doing in phase,
yeah.
can you just show us the drop down so guys can see?
Yeah,
for
so if you're
in-phase?
doing end phase, you can just select, I believe they're using
No, we're using the 60s.
they're using these
Yeah,
ones?
yeah.
So you can use these, and then you're just gonna use the same quantity as panels for the microinverters.
Pay attention to that, guys. Those need to match.
So 23 and 23, and then the racking will stay the same, and then you can just change your monitoring to end phase, and then this one's actually 4G. So that's gonna be your end phase deal. All right, but we can just leave it. It's not gonna make a difference. And then so we don't need optimizers with microinverters. And so our shade study, remember we pulled this right off Solo, so it was, the tilt was 25 degrees, I think it was. The azimuth was 270, so due west. And then the shade was 3%. This is solar availability, so just 100 minus 3, 97. Make sense?
What?
So,
Dude, bro, come on.
Solo gives you shading percentage.
Yeah,
So
Go
yeah.
back up and show us where it's at.
Sure.
I even saw that was
Do you wanna show 'em that one more time,
minus
Jared?
whatever the shading is.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I got that.
This is gonna lose sales reps in the room right now.
He already showed us, it was 3%.
Hey, listen up, yo. So, the reason we don't do a lot of this is because no one wants to do this. And so, if you guys do use their functionality, who would be willing to pay to have them do it for you? I personally would pay it and then just build $20 into your freaking loan. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
if it can be popped out right away.
Yeah, you just
If we're
build
not
it
gonna
into your
wait
loan.
48 hours.
Yeah,
It says an hour to 4 hours.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
no wait
Yeah.
4 hours.
but
So this would
If-
be like a next day appointment, like if you know you have.
Oh.
This is not hard, you guys.
Yeah.
This is filling out a form. This is easy.
And
All right,
adoption
let's
rate
see the
won't be
shade- let's see
high.
the shading.
This will be
Come
low.
on.
Guys won't do it.
So yeah, so then we're just hitting the show details right here. And so here you go, here's the input. So 23 modules, that's what I put in there. 270 is the azimuth,
They
I
can
put
use
that
that
in.
feature.
The tilt's 25, I put that in. And then the shade, it says 3%, we're asking for solar availability. So it's like the opposite, right?
If they
So
pay
it's gonna be
20 bucks,
97
use
percent
the
solar
feature.
availability.
Everyone does.
So I got a
everyone does
question.
next day
Sure.
appointment.
So you probably
They
get to
government
maybe,
leads, input all
let's
that
assume
that
there
night.
was 5 modules
So-
on
If
array
That means we
2.
have to
It would
account
tell you that.
for every
Yeah.
single job.
Where
So-
would you add that on Sunova?
We
Yeah,
have
so
to
let me show
get
you.
away from Sunrun and adopting that is
Oh,
the answer.
I know.
And they're not gonna do
So
this.
if there's 5 modules on the
They
second
don't work
array,
like you.
or the third array, whatever it may be,
Half of the people
basically
there
you're
right
just
now
gonna
are
hit this
already.
button right here, add
So-
additional array, and it's just gonna copy everything that you just did. So now I can put 5 modules here if I need to.
We have to make this easy
That's
for
just
you
array
guys to
number two.
That's array
transition.
number 2. So you're just breaking the arrays out individually, right?
Gotcha.
So, and then everything else, you know, is gonna be, you can change these two. So that's how you do that, and then I'll just
And
delete
even
this
if it's only
because.
$5
What if
more,
we didn't have solo
then,
though? How would we
solo,
input
and
all
then
this
another
information?
for this.
Yeah, so that would
They
be,
don't do
you know,
solo
you kind of
anymore.
need a
They just go
design.
straight to
Yeah.
the
We also have
to the
quick
Sunova design tool. It's only an extra
that I can
$5.
show you how to use.
To the customer.
So right here,
Solo's
say you
the
didn't have a
present to the
design at all.
All this does is just build this out.
Man.
It just sets up the contract for him.
That's lame.
I know, before I was like, yeah, we'll just swap it. He's like, no, it doesn't.
We have a quick design tool here where you can actually look at the roof.
Dumb.
I think she needs to draw panels here, so you gotta drag to create, drag to select.
And will that automatically auto-populate the information that we're porting over?
Yeah, so basically like, it's a little more complicated, but you drag to create, and then when these are highlighted like this, you can hit
Pay attention, guys.
create array from panels. And then you get an azimuth bar here, so now I know this is going west.
So why not just create our own each time?
So you could do that too, but I know a lot of people like the solo proposal, cause you get the, you know, the whole solo proposal looks nice. It's gonna do your adders for you, so you don't have to worry about messing up the math or the dealer fees or anything like that.
So
And
no,
then
yeah.
the estimates are a little bit different. So like you said, like someone said earlier, if you do 110% offset, like Solo's gonna reflect a $0, you know, bill for that customer. Ours aren't gonna match that.
You don't have the export rates in there, so it's not gonna, so there's no way you'd ever wanna do a lease with you guys, cause we wanna do over 100, over
Yeah,
120%.
so like I said, we don't underwrite the utility bill.
Oh,
So
okay.
as long as you just keep your usage
So
and
you're telling
your
us to
production.
lie, we have to lie on there.
Your words, not
The
mine.
answer is yes, we have to
Make it
fudge.
happen, Captain.
So yeah, if you didn't have a solo proposal and you needed to design in a pinch, you could do it like this. And
So
basically.
now is there a cost to do the quick one?
No. No.
That'll just give us the array and the,
Yeah, and the azimuth,
azimuth.
essentially.
okay.
Yeah. So, and then you would just basically go in there and edit the system. There'd be a yellow bar that said you did this with quick design, edit the system before quoting. So, but basically, I'll hop back in here.
If that comes up, will it auto edit it, or do you still have to go back and fill everything in?
You'll still have to go in and just double check all the inputs. So if you wanted to do a battery, you could do that right here. You could add a battery on. And then you could select, you know, your Tesla if you wanted to, AC coupled, Tesla, You could do, 1, 2, whatever it is. Just like that. That's gonna be your Tesla battery if you wanted to quote one. I'll just remove it for now though. And so we've got our whole system built out right here. This is all we need to do. Save and continue. And now we're gonna be at the quote page. So looks like in Safford we don't have the lease active, but we've got a loan. So we'll do our 25-year 199. And then if you're pulling it from the Solo proposal, you're just gonna wanna grab the contract price from Solo. And
Otherwise, you're gonna add it all up yourself, right?
Exactly.
With a dealer fee of what?
So the dealer fee is 25.99% on the 199. So, but if you're using Solo, just grab that contract price, and if you got, aero seal built in there, or you got, an MPU built in there, whatever it is, it's gonna do the math for you perfect every time. So you're just gonna hit this customer price option.
Which is 38,883.
So you're gonna do 38,883. And then I'll go ahead and hit run pricing here.
Was this, it's not on the loan that you have a max price on the watt, right? It's on the lease. that
So
you have
the
a max
loan,
price
the
per watt.
max price per watt's 550,
This
up
is-
to 150,000.
Oh, okay. So the max price per watt is 550.
550.
Okay, we can't go anything over that. Is
Only
that
if
including
there's a
your
battery.
26% dealer fee though, is on top of that? So we gotta make sure that we're within those parameters and not going over, because the 26% dealer fee, man, that's a huge
Yeah.
percentage per watt.
And Luke likes to sell in the $6 watt range.
I've never ever sold something like that.
So take a look at this, guys. So here's all of our numbers. So the total price per watt's $512. Where's our monthly payment at though? So our monthly payment's $122 a month.
How big was the system?
I mean, yeah.
The system is 7.59 kilowatts. So
What's the EPC
On
on
your
that?
loan,
Is
is
it
it the same the
512
first
after dealer fee
17 months,
3.8?
18 months.
18 months, and then
So
if
3.8?
they put in the incentive money, it stays the same,
Yep.
if they don't, it goes up.
Correct.
Okay, now yours, a lot of these loans at 18 months, they say it stays the same, but it changes a few bucks, sometimes as much as 10 or 11 dollars. Yours literally stays the same?
Yeah, if they just put 26% down, it'll stay the same. If they put more than 26% down, it'll go less. If they put less than 26%, it'll go
Right,
Let
but
me
if
see.
you put the 26%, it will literally stay the same.
literally stay the same. Yep. Yep.
What is, I didn't see, but what did we add our EPC to be before dealer fees?
Jared has it.
What was the EPC before?
That's
this?
3.84.
On Solo?
3.84, right?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. I don't know. I think Solo would be just
Yeah,
probably
what is
5 cents
Solo?
off. It might be like 380. What do we pay? I don't know.
So on that, the way that's set up, you're at 2.6.
Yeah.
So you're saying our EPC was 384 plus the dealer fee made it 512?
512. Yeah. Right.
And then the payments.
Yeah, I'm just curious, is anybody in this room actually charging 384?
Right?
Should've been incorporated.
I
Come
doubt
on,
it.
guys, I feel guilty at 3 1/4, but if
So
you're
we
getting
did
more,
a 25,190.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was 25-year 199.
Still like 12 cents over the wall.
Yeah,
I saw 14.0 all the time.
Yeah, 384 is high.
that's awesome, Jamie.
Get that thing to 3.4. 3.4 all day.
Don't make the monies.
Right.
Because everyone gets richer.
I was just trying to think, who was that guy that just recently quit, took a crew with them?
You can still sell.
What kind of average was
And
it?
nobody can touch
Tanner,
us.
Tanner, you wouldn't go out on a job unless it made like
I think
8
they're just-
grand.
I think they're just
Undercutting you
building
because
it
they're looking at
into
what the hell are they doing?
Wouldn't sit down with something
And
unless
that's
they
what
make
we're
these
doing now,
that.
looking at Elevator. What are they
They're
doing?
showing 139 and 325.
Bad things.
So Solo shows 325 EPC.
Solo shows, Solo shows $3, Solo is showing 128. So don't pay attention to that dealer
Yeah,
EPC
don't.
per watt, that's
Use the,
not close.
use the customer price. Put the contract price in and use the customer price when you're using.
Okay, so
Per
tell
watt.
guys.
What's the real EPC then?
We're trying
So-
to figure out how
So
we're
at a
gonna get
265, guys are trying to figure out what they're making on this.
So Solo will tell you.
Yeah, but his numbers were way off in comparison to these ones. The numbers were way off in comparison.
But the contract price was the same?
Cause he had an AC incorporated in there and then he took that off. Once he took the AC off, then it went back to, now it's 128. But he had a $6,000 AC on top of there, and you guys were still showing that it was 129 or 121, and his was 134, so, or 172. So when he put the contract price in there, that was incorporated with
With an air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
So this is solar plus air conditioning
Yes,
for
yeah.
$120 a month.
Yeah, but is
Now
that
the
correct?
384 makes a little more
Right.
sense.
Is that correct though?
Yeah, so this monthly payment, so if this is your loan amount here,
Okay.
this is gonna be your monthly payment.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not correct. Is that correct?
It's correct.
That's right?
That's right.
What does it say on Solo, Jared?
Solo
It's-
says 128.
No, it had 175 because you had the
I know, I
the
took that
original.
off, though.
I know, but now look at the contract price.
So what's the new
Contract
contract
price right
price?
30,000.
30,000.
So it was
30,000.
38,000 or so, and it was 129.
So just 30,000 even?
30,000.
30,300.
Let's see how. So this will be.
And what does yours say, Jared, for the price?
For what? The
Are you at
EPC?
20, yeah, what's your 25-year loan on there?
128.
On the 25, 2.99?
30,000.
25, 1.99.
For the
25-year,
for
199.
the 38,000, his was 170.
Dude, like this has to be off, Bill.
Is your-
His
yours
is coming
not-
up 128. This is
What does
coming
it
up
say?
94.
Is yours the net or the gross, Jared?
So
Because I don't see
do they
the,
not have the right?
What's the interest rate?
Hey, if we can get these prices, dude, you
These
can
are the
guarantee.
real. This is
How
the
can his
portal.
not be-
So this
how
is
can his
this
be
is
wrong?
real.
That's his. What's the interest rate on the one that he's showing?
This shows, this is a dealer fee of 26%.
And
So-
so he's got the 20 or 1.99.
Loan payment 128 instead of 94.
Yeah. So that sounds like a 299 to me.
Yeah.
It's
199. So
is it tax credits coming off of that 30,000 at the net of the gross, Jared?
Oh, I bet that's it.
I think you're on the
That's
net,
it.
Jared.
Yeah,
So we
that's
need
what
to,
it
we
is.
need to add 26% to this.
You had 26% on to that
Let's see if we can
30,300.
get in this.
There we go. Oh,
Yeah.
rookie mistake, guys.
I was like,
Dude.
Those got unchecked. That wasn't me.
you showed the screen,
guys.
I didn't see the tax credits.
I'm pulling up somebody else's. Somebody else had these unchecked.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, everybody calm down.
Right.
We're at 91 a month here in Solo.
everyone's making 2,000 a kilowatt.
Yeah. This is it. This shows $3.
I go do another
This
one right
does match, okay? This shows $3 right here.
Yeah.
This matches $3 right here. We're good.
All right.
The world is in order.
So that's at $3 EPC?
Correct.
384?
Yeah.
Right, because they took off the AC.
Yeah,
We took off the
299.
AC, yeah.
A 7 kilowatt system at $94.
Can't beat
So
it.
it's a 3770?
Well, if
It's,
you have 1,000, it's $91.
Damn.
What's the price per watt? Does it show that anymore?
So the total price per watt is like $4 a watt.
No, sorry,
EPC, right?
no, the price that we're selling the power at, before it had 12 cents there. Where's,
Yeah, the solar rate.
yeah, solar, there you go.
9.6 cents a kilowatt hour.
9.6.
That's a decent.
Okay. Why does year one savings say?
So yeah, so this is one of the reasons why people like the solo proposal.
Yeah, don't look at this customer, please.
Yeah, so this
Dude.
this is for your eyes, right? So if you want to move forward with this and you've already presented a solo proposal, I'll show you what to do here. So we're just gonna add this to the save list here, and then it's a 2-step process to save. Just scroll down and hit save one quote. All right.
So what did it say year one says?
What does it say
How
on
do you
savings
adjust the
negative
EPC on that one?
Negative.
So you just change the customer price. So if you wanna
So they're not.
go up a little higher, $45,000, just scroll back up.
What utility company was this?
Jamie needs to add another 10 grand because he wants to do these $4
Yeah.
Yes, remember this is Safford, guys. They're buying their power at like
10
10
cents.
cents.
Kilowatt hour.
So this is not,
It's not APS or anything.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Um,
fine.
So if you wanna change the price here, just come up here, and if you need 40,000, there you go.
And then what does it change to?
And then just run the price again?
So you don't have to put in the dealer EPC?
no, it selects it with whatever product
just
you.
put total price.
Yeah, so if you're using solo, use the customer price and take the contract price and put it in here.
And then it figures.
And then
it.
it'll be exactly what you're expecting.
Ah, okay.
Alright?
Interesting.
So here's
So
another
we
one.
adjust our EPC on
$40,000
solo.
loan amounts, that's just gonna bring the monthly payment to $125 a month.
And that's 40,000 easy.
And that's, what's the system size?
Same system size,
32.
7.59.
Okay.
4532.
7.59.
You guys don't have the export rates incorporated in this, so there's no way of seeing. So how would we ever show a savings though if it's going to be a lease?
I'll show you that. We'll do a lease. I can't do one in Safford, but I can
On
build
it,
a lease pretty
on a
quick.
loan, you have to show here once.
No, you don't have to show
No,
anything.
so the loan is fine. So basically, if your customer says, you know, $94 a month sounds great for this, you know, almost 8 kilowatt system, just come up here, go to the title verification, and so the title was already successfully verified. So all you gotta do is hit the circle next to your customer's name, Adam's name, and just hit save title verification. So that's one of the things you have to do to unlock the contract before you can send it. Just that quick title check and save it. So once that's done,
And you're talking about loan docs or?
loan, yeah, so to send the loan contract. So the next thing is gonna be the credit verification. His credit status is not run. Remember, we have to put the email address and the phone number in before we run credit. You can update that right here, the contact details. Hop in here. You can edit his info, put in a, you know, phone number and email address. You can also add a cosigner here if you needed to. And if you're adding a cosigner, just make sure that you hit this check mark here, add to contract, to put their name on the agreement.
Do they have to have a separate email address?
No. You can use the same email address. Alright, so once you do the credit verification, you can email it out to them. You know, once they have their phone number and email in there, email it out to them. Or if you're sitting in the home with them, just have them put their birth date, their social security number in, and hit run credit now. It's gonna pull up a DocuSign for them, to just click the credit release form, and it'll run credit right there in real time. Then you'll get, you know, momentarily, you'll get credit results. It'll say, you know, pass or fail, or you could get pending. Pending could mean they didn't put their social security number in, so just try again with their social security number. Or it could mean that there was a bad data point given, so sometimes people put today's date instead of like their birth date, and that would cause that to happen. So just double check the info. If you're still getting a pending, just call in our validation line, and they can run it over the phone with them and get it cleared up. Alright. So once we get the credit done, we got the title done, we're ready to send this out.
What is your credit?
Yeah, the
Parameter?
650.
yeah, 650.
So 650 and above is either pass or fail, or do you
Correct.
have
Yep, just one tier.
one tier?
Yep, 150,000 at 650.
Is
Alright,
it
so
always approved at 150, or is that based on the income?
yep, always. We don't look at income.
They just like to give money out.
Because I like to get people to sign for money.
So if I wanna send this contract, I'm just gonna go back to this quote I made and I saved, and you're gonna hit this go to quote button right here. And you can see I've got a green check mark on title, got a green check mark on contract. Once my credit status says pass here, I'm able to review and sign the contract. And you can send that out via email, or they can sign on your computer via
There's
DocuSign.
no problems with them signing on my computer?
No, so just give them it and have them sign.
On the loan docs, is it going to say the savings over the year? Are you gonna put the details? Or
No,
just gonna
so
put-
let me show you what the contract looks like.
Real quick,
Yes.
so if it's on my computer, does it have to match their IP address at their home?
No,
My
so they're
hotspot?
gonna do a validation call afterwards. So your customer's gonna call into Sunova after every deal, loan or lease, and they're just gonna do a 5 to 10 minute, you know, if there's no questions for your customer, it's gonna take 5 to 10 minutes.
So it's just like a Sunrun verification.
Just like a Sunrun welcome call, yep. So I'll show you what the contract looks like. If your customer wants to read the contract before they run credit, you can download this proposal, and it's essentially just the contract, with 2 extra pages, which are our proposal, but I'll show you everything that's on that. And you're gonna wanna make sure your pop-up blocker's off when you download this, or else it will get blocked.
Oh, yeah.
So just turn your pop-up blocker off. You'll see it like up here, it'll say, you know, pop-up was blocked. Just turn it off and try again. It should work, and remember, Google Chrome is the browser you wanna use the Sunova portal on.
Google Chrome.
Alright, so this is definitely the longest, of the process.
We have slow internet here.
I think the internet's just been slow everywhere lately. Alright, so we'll come down to your downloads folder, and so if we open this thing up, So here is our proposal. So we've got, you know, page 1 here, page 2, and this is so these are those estimates, but this isn't part of the contract. So this is like so this is why a lot of people use the solo proposal rather than this, because, you know, you'll see, it just shows you the system size, you know, the production. So this is 106% offset using no power from the grid. And then this utility bill offset, so this is like what we estimate will reduce the utility bill by. So it's not the solar offset, so it's different. So the total monthly payment is $94.
And that's before the rebates, like the 26%? No.
This is
No,
after.
it's after.
This is assuming
But
like,
this
Why does
doesn't-
it say $0 for the rebates then?
where do you see $0?
It says down payment 0, and then
Yeah.
underneath that it says.
So yeah, so
$0.
down payment is just like a down payment, right? They would pay
The money they're
you
getting you
at the
at the
time of
time.
sale. The rebate is actually for like utility rebates.
Okay.
So, and that should be treated as like a cash payment. So say you do a Tesla Powerwall in SRP territory, and your customer knows they're gonna get $3,600 from SRP for that. They could just give you $3,600 now, knowing they'll get $3,600 later. So it's like a cash payment. It'll take it out of the loan amount. So be careful with those. But this, let's see here. So this is the proposal. And let's see
So
here.
did that show the tax credit?
But wait, go back, this is the guarantee.
You did see it?
Yep, so
It
there's the
said,
proactive
in small
monitoring here.
letters under kind of like price, it said,
We're gonna diagnose any issues,
you
we're gonna,
have the
you know,
option to
correct
pay.
anything, including labor.
So even if you don't do the design, you're still guaranteeing the production?
Yes.
Okay.
So the only thing that could happen if you're doing your own design is you might have a change order. If say you said it like, you know, 30 panels were going south and then it turns out, you know, 25 of them are going west and the production estimate's way off, that would be the only thing. But we'd have the customer sign a change order and then get a new guarantee.
So don't you guys insure them for 25 years as well?
Yep, so the loan is actually homeowner insured through homeowners insurance.
Okay.
The lease, Sunova insures.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's see here. They changed up the contract a little bit on me. So this is the first page of the contract. So when you actually send it to your customer, they're not gonna see these first pages. They're gonna see this page 1. Okay, so they're just seeing total system cost, they're seeing this, and this.
So is the system only being monitored under lease, not under purchase?
We're monitoring everything,
Both ways?
both ways.
Okay.
Yep.
So
they're
why is
seeing-
there a 9% difference?
So this is the estimated utility bill offset. So it's not the solar offset, but their payment on their utility bill. So if they're paying $100 a month.
I think up there you showed 105% offset, so that's why there's.
Yeah, so this is energy supplied by solar, so technically a homeowner can't use more than 100% of the energy that they're using. Now, and their real offset is actually just right here. Took it off. I thought it used to be on like page 3 or something.
It said that the new bill was gonna be like $9 a month.
Yeah.
That was way wrong.
So that's basically what the 91% was. You're taking 91 off the
It
100,
says
it's
they're
gonna be
still paying
$9.
us $9 a month or whatever.
This is
Yeah.
$37,000.
It said it further up, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the proposal, remember?
Safford has a $9 connection fee or something like that.
Yeah,
It's just the connection fee.
Yeah, essentially,
right there.
so they're getting 100% of their electricity from solar. But this
Is
is
this
the
that Thatcher one or
proposal.
whatever it was, Jared?
Yeah, Safford has net metering down there too, which is awesome. Or it's basically net metering. It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, but if they're buying it for 10 cents, and we're producing at 13 cents, they're still taking a 3-cent loss.
We're producing that at 9 cents, remember?
What, oh, they,
On this one was at 9 cents. That's why you're not showing the savings, but it is.
oh, yeah, yeah. So this is just, you're actually taking a profit on every credit lease in that.
Alright guys, so a couple of highlights to the contract. We give our customers a discount by paying through ACH. And the payment that we list on here is actually the discounted payment. So if they want that $94 a month, they'll have to pay via ACH.
And they have to set that up on the verification call?
Yep, they'll set it up on
So
the
you don't
verification
have-
call.
you
But
don't
do they have
it
to on the
here.
verification?
No, so they do have the ability though, so if you get that customer that says, I don't really feel comfortable sharing my, banking info over the phone, just take them to mysunova.com. And they can just set up their customer portal, so they can put their info in here, and basically if you sign up now, it's just gonna ask you for your system ID, and your system ID is actually on the bottom right-hand corner of every page of the contract, so it's actually the contract ID. So you plug this in here, and it's gonna associate your customer's account with their agreement.
And as long as they do that before install or before the first bill, they'll get the discount.
They have 2 weeks before or after contract signing to get some recurring payment info on file, or else the deal will cancel. So they need to do their validation call and the recurring payment info within 14 days of contract signing.
So is there no option for manual billing?
So they can do like a credit card, but we don't have like paper billing, no.
Gotcha.
Automated.
So it has to be automated, there is no mailing payment.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're doing mail-in pay, or if you're doing credit card, isn't the service charge like $20 a month or something?
Well, so that's the discount, right? It's like $15 a month, so they'd have to pay 15 additional.
Yeah.
Just to pay by credit card. So definitely recommend ACH for sure.
So they go ACH, they're willing to give it to the person over the phone. Can they set the date they want it to come out, which that person?
Yeah, they give them like, I think there's like 6 different billing dates that they can choose
No
from.
later than the 19th of the month.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can they request a call back so that, like, if they don't wanna do it with you in the house?
Yeah, they can, and I would actually recommend having your customer call from the phone number that we have on file, so they can just call it on their own, so like, save yourself a hassle, don't call the validation line and then say, hey, I wanna put you on my customer, cause they're gonna hang up with you and they're gonna call your customer from their phone, and then that could take some time, so just say, here's the phone number, give them a call, should take 5 to 10 minutes, and you don't have to be there if you
Would
don't
you,
want.
not at the house?
Yeah, they can do it all on their own.
Someone makes us be at the house.
Yeah, you don't have to be in the house. We also have an online validation tool. Does require your own account, so I don't know if you want to keep everybody on yours. But if they didn't want to do the validation line, I know the call time, the wait times have been a little bit longer since the 199. But we have an online validation tool where if you set it up, basically you just upload a photo of yourself, a photo of like a government issued ID, and then you can do a total online validation. You don't have to call. And so you do recurring payment info and the contract validation all from mysunova.com.
Is it like a video? They watch a video?
So they don't watch a video, they just go through some questions. So it'll say like, your production is 10,000 kilowatt hours a year. Does that sound right? Yes. This is a picture of your sales rep. Is this your sales rep? Yes. Like stuff like
So
that.
take a picture of us.
Yeah, so you actually take a selfie, you upload it, and then you take a picture of your ID so that the software can just verify that it's actually you. And then you'll have like a little photo here.
And we can do that on every one?
And we don't have
do
to,
validation?
we don't have to have a picture of the customer.
No.
We just
So
have-
I think the customer might even take a picture of themselves during the validation. But, so home, if you go to the home page, please add a verified contact photo to your profile to qualify as a trusted salesperson. So that is what you do to set that up, if you have your own account. Obviously, only Jared would be able to do that in his account.
So we just put Jared's picture on everything and don't worry about it.
So just do the validation call if you're using Jared's.
Can we get our own?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can set you up.
Yes, please. And then, what, as far as BK foreclosures, how many years?
7 years for bankruptcy. I don't think we have any policy on foreclosures. What else, guys?
Transferability.
Yep, the agreement, all agreements are transferable. Basically, the new homeowner would just run credit to qualify, so they need a 650 to qualify for those payments. If for whatever reason they don't have a 650, they can put a deposit down, a refundable deposit, for a year, essentially. So the deposit would be equal to $500 if the payment's less than $100 a month, or $1,000 if it's more than $100 a month, and then they would automatically get those. And the service agreement,
And then
For both loan and lease.
both loan and lease.
so when you're doing, you said that the credit it doesn't show on the credit report. At what point does the debt ever show on the credit report or
Only
no?
if they fail to make their monthly payments.
So as long as they don't fail, it's not gonna show.
And payment of the loan, it never shows up.
Correct. They just have to remain current.
And do you put a lien against the property, like a
There's
essentially?
a UCC1 filing on the equipment.
Same as everybody else.
Yep.
So just the roof?
And do you guys, if somebody sells their home, do you guys lift that?
Yes.
CC1
Yep.
filing during the transition?
Yep. Or if they want to
Same
do
with the refinance.
same thing.
You just
Just call
subordinate it,
customer
take it off,
service.
and then put it back on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you show us how you do the pricing and stuff and how you choose a lease on the
Yeah,
real
yeah, good one. So I'll do a quick one. I'll just do a lead I've done,
Yeah.
a million times.
Right before you do that, Bill, I wanna ask a question to the group.
Sure.
Why would you guys sell, or what reasons are there to sell a Sunova versus a Sunrun lease?
One, SRP, cause Sunrun doesn't touch SRP.
Yeah.
It's not causing debt to income either.
Neither does Sunrun.
You get Dixie
Oh,
with the
Sunrun doesn't
EPC.
either? Oh, okay.
That's the
I
number
didn't know
one.
that.
Yeah, you can manipulate your EPC.
Yeah.
Sorry for the student.
But Jamie wants
If
to-
it was proven that the 13 with the
He wants to buy
1.9
Mercedes out.
paid out higher than the 14 on the Mercedes, as far as EPC goes, and that would be.
Can you draw one up on a 13 with 1.9 to see what EPC is?
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of
Well, hold
my
on, we got a
curiosity.
response back here, let's hear it out. Say it again.
What do you say?
Yeah, what everyone's saying right now, if it shows that a 13-cent kilowatt with a 1.9% escalator pays higher than, for instance, a Sunrun 14 with 0%, then that's obviously way more attractive. So that's a reason that I would go towards Sunova.
Yes.
And then,
But I'd have to see that.
so if you do that, can you still dictate the contract price to raise the EPC even higher?
Well,
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a little bit trickier, right? Because you have the year one savings that you have to work with.
Right.
There's ways around it, obviously. But yeah, so I wouldn't put in like the actual EPC. I would just stick to like you said, like 13 cents, 1.9% escalator. You know that's the most you can go. If you can show first year savings on it, great.
So how does the system know whether the person's paying 24 cents or 10 cents?
So we use a company called Genability, and I think like, Sight uses it, a lot of the other companies use it, so we just pull historical data from there, and then we'll know like based on the zip code, the utility, kind of like a range of what they're paying.
So, because I have one in Glendale, she's paying 24 cents a kilowatt,
Dude, what?
Wow.
and all I can do is 14 cents.
Yeah.
But I could have done way more.
Dang.
So
What's
in
that
this
lady
case,
doing, man?
then I could do a bigger contract.
Yeah.
24.
But I think you guys will like what you
They only
said.
use power
13
on.
cents.
all they're like, don't use power until 12,
Check that math.
and then shut it off at 8 o'clock again.
For sure, she had a mother-in-law suite, and the lady only used power on the middle day stuff.
Is it July?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lady was paying 24 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah.
So I'm just coming in here, adding my stuff, I'm just adding a new contact. And I can show you guys the quick design on this one too, so get a little demo of that as well.
So if you guys use the Genability and that gives the average kilowatt usage for a certain house, is that, if we don't have one of the two, is there a button we hit to just say, give us?
So it's basically, it's not just a specific house, it's
Right.
like the zip code
Right.
and the utility, so it's.
But it
it's
says
general.
1,800 square foot house in the subdivision is basically,
Yeah, and
12
based on
12,000
usage and stuff,
kilowatts.
yeah. So, I'll show you a little bit how it works.
Is there a way that in the future you guys have like a drop down that we can choose what the person's paying?
I don't know of anything in the works like that. I know we are working on revamping our, our utility estimates and stuff like that. I was pushing for the removal of the year one savings in Arizona. I didn't get that awarded, but, I'll keep pushing for it,
I
so.
think you guys need to put in at least the export rates in there, because that kills the
Yeah.
deals for us. I mean,
No.
it won't, it'll never be an accurate estimate if it's the year one savings
Yeah.
without the export rates being in there. It's
So,
impossible.
so I'll show you some ways around it, but, so like I said, the current rate plan, I always recommend just residential, just regular residential.
So guys, understand that's different, right? Everybody you talk to right now is either on Saver's Choice or Saver's Choice Max.
Or Premier.
Don't select that. You're gonna be selecting residential instead.
All right, and then for a proposed rate plan, I've had a lot of success quoting on actually the Saver Choice Max plan, which, you know, we don't underwrite a utility bill. We're not looking at these things to make sure that, you know, they're going on that plan. Annual usage, this is also just an estimate, right?
Yeah.
So not kicking anything back if they're using 15,000 kilowatt hours, right?
Here's a trick.
What's that?
Here's a trick for everyone in the room. You wanna be able to get a higher EPC or show first year savings, since you guys don't check usage, just jack the usage way up.
If you're trying to do like 110% offset, just match the production.
Yeah, so I assume you have to do that.
Because I think this customer right here uses 50,000 kilowatts an hour. Let's just see.
So I'll hit save and continue here. We're gonna do 20,000 kilowatt hours, and I'll do the quick design for you guys. So if you're like, you know, didn't have time to request a solo proposal or something like that. And so there's two features of this. There's drag to create and there's drag to select. So I'm on drag to create. I'm just gonna draw a nice little array down here on the south face,
Cool.
just like that. Maybe another row, and I can lock it in right here. So that looks pretty good, right?
You guys aren't going to worry about fire setbacks or anything like that on there?
So this is just a quick design,
Oh, okay.
right? So now I can drag to select this, and I'm just gonna make my array here. So here we go, create array from panels, and I'm gonna get my azimuth line here. So now I'm just gonna drag this due south, and I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. I'm gonna select the medium tilt here. Solar availability looks really good. And then I can select my module here. So I can just do like a silfab.
You can do this with a purchase too, right? The same.
Yep, so this tool is to build your design, and you can quote a lease or a loan.
So I don't have to have someone do it and wait 4 hours. I can do it myself.
Correct.
It's just not showing setbacks, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you gotta make sure you're minding your own setbacks or it's gonna get kicked
That's
back
not
to
a
you.
proper setback.
Yep, so this is,
Well,
this is
if you're in Globe, it is.
Titan's still gonna come out and whatever.
and so I can hit calculate production on this, and it's just gonna give me a rough, you know, estimate here. So like about 40% offset. I'm happy with that. I wanna do another array though, so I'm gonna hit drag to create, and I'm gonna start on this west face. And if I wanna, you know, if I want these, portrait instead of landscape, I can do that, and I can delete these just by selecting them and, you know, deleting them.
We can hang them off the roof now.
You can create a dashboard.
This one got, oh, Tyson.
So let's do something like this.
This one got, I don't know, can I build
It's kind of a big array. I'll delete some of these.
on the wall? He wants it.
Let's put them under the first.
And we'll drag to select,
How about we just leave it on the back?
move it into place, get it looking nice,
Dang, that's sick.
I just think we should build a patio with it on the floor.
something like that, right? And I can clean it up a little bit.
So then you can just click where the vent is and remove that one.
Yep, so if I wanna just, you know, make it a realistic looking design, something like that. And I'll drag to select, and I'm just gonna create this array.
This is like.
And create array from panels, and I got my azimuth line, due west. And then I can select my tilt again, solar availability.
So is there not a degree angle, you can't select like 20 degree?
You can select 20,
That's what it's at right now.
yep, and you can
Oh,
actually type this into,
I see it.
you know, 15.
Cause that's what we want Arizona, right, 20 degrees?
20, I would recommend, yeah, 20 in Arizona.
You got it, Bruce, you're right.
400 deals.
One answer.
There you go, so I got my
Oh, that's
modules,
nice.
I'll calculate production on this. So we're at like 84%, right? So that's pretty good. And maybe I can add a few more panels if I wanted to. Well, just for this demo's sake, I'll just save this design. And so once I've got that all done, I'll just go ahead and close this. And we'll go to my system design right here. And that little yellow bar I was telling you about, system was generated by Quick Design, verify it is correct by editing and saving. So I'll hit edit system, and I'm gonna put in like my inverters and stuff here. So I've got my Silfab 330s, we'll go with the Solar Edge. Probably a 6,000 or something. Just one of those.
So why would I go to solo and then come over here versus just do what you're doing right now?
Basically, if you just want the proposal, like if you want the proposal with those numbers, I know you guys saw the estimates before, and they didn't look great.
There's two reasons that you're gonna wanna use solo. Number one, this doesn't have a proposal, so if you guys like to be able to show the production graphs, and you like to be able to show
Pretty picture of it on
the pretty picture and the pie graphs and stuff like that, that's number one. Number two, your savings is gonna be bogus on this because you're lying on your on your consumption. You're already saying that they're using 20,000 when they're really only using 12, just so you can get the pricing you want. Well, if you show them what their savings is going to be here, that's not accurate.
Does that increase sales?
Huh?
So
So if you're in solo, it's gonna have
Well,
the.
this is a lease though, so if it's a loan, we don't have to, do whatever with the pricing. My problem with solar right now is their post-solar energy bill is always whack.
Yeah, it's
always
way off.
whack. And
It's way off.
so the savings that it calculates is always skewed, and it still shows the savings. I'm like, hey, this is conservative, but they're questioning it. They're like, well, why does somebody have a $54 post-solar electric bill?
Well, depending on what your offset is, that's accurate.
No, that's the high
over
bill.
100. It's over 100.
What are you at though? Like what percentage are you at?
120.
Yeah.
They're still gonna have a $30, $40 bill at 120%.
Okay, but not 50 something.
No, what that 50
Depending on the
is
rate plan.
doing is because your solar's not gonna cover all of the months.
Oh, yeah.
And so the high month, like the August bill where you're going way over your usage, that's actually incorporating that $54 bill is what that will be during the month of August. Does that make sense?
So it's covering the
So
highest
you always
bill.
tell the customer, listen, to typically cover that over your production for the rest of the year, because there's that bar that it doesn't make over there for those 2 months.
Well, so that's worst case scenario only. I mean, it's not taking into account the savings.
Yeah, that's not taking in the export rates that are going to be applied towards that, because they build up the rest of the credit during those other months.
Right. So that's what I'm saying as far as showing the savings.
Yeah, it seems to just be like a industry-wide problem, getting a good post-solar.
So nothing's gonna change going from 11 cents to 9 cents on the proposal itself.
I show my own graph on savings, so anything on the proposal, I just say,
What'd you say?
we're not looking at that, we're not paying
That
attention to it, I'm gonna show you
future
on my
bill
own
won't
graph.
change.
They don't
And
understand
then we'll
that.
go from 11 to 9 on Monday. It'll still come up, the proposal will still be exactly the same.
Where the proposal in solo?
Yeah, so we've got,
Well, no. If they plug in my new numbers, it'll be more accurate. I'm gonna send them the spreadsheet I'm making right now.
I'll show you guys how to code the lease now.
so then it'll go off the.
Okay, let's go back to this. Let's
Yeah, my
watch.
attention.
So, like I recommended, so you're not just shooting in the dark, trying to show savings on a lease, just run a quick loan, right? Doesn't matter what the price is, you're just doing it as an example, you're gonna get your production, you're gonna get your year one savings, you're gonna get a solar rate. And so it's gonna give you a reference point. So I'm just gonna do a quick 199 loan on my, 11.2.
Can you do an easy side-by-side comparison? Like, do you guys have that tool on there where you can select like
Loan and lease.
Loan and lease and then
Here's
kind
your
of-
options, yeah, we can do that. I'll
a
show you that.
shopping cart like Sunova has?
So that's where you put the price in for what you want to charge them per watt?
So this is
On
just,
a lease.
remember.
Oh, this is the
demo
loan, yeah,
analysis,
sorry.
right? This is just
My bad.
just a quick example loan, so I can get a frame of reference of my savings. And APS is pretty easy to show savings.
But you have that at price $3 net, right?
Yeah, $3 net.
Is that net or is that sorry? Is that?
Yeah, so that would be net, that's gross. But I would recommend using the customer price if you're actually, putting in a contract price. So here we go, so we're at 9 cents a kilowatt hour, and I'm showing $889 in year one savings. So that pretty much shows me I can pretty much price up to 13 cents a kilowatt hour, and I'm not gonna have to worry about year one savings.
Yeah.
So if I go real quick, just hop over to the lease, 25-year term length is the only term length we offer. And now, I'm gonna have some different pricing options down here. I've used the solar rate, right? So if I know if my solar rate is at 9 cents kilowatt hour, I'm gonna show almost $900 in year one savings. So I can try, I can confidently say 12 cents, so it's gonna be 0.12. I can choose an escalator if I want, or not, so up to 1.9, 12 cents kilowatt hour. I'll run the pricing here, and we'll get some updated numbers.
That was still based on that EPC of $3, right?
No, so when you do the solar rate, you'll get your EPC
Okay.
with the lease. With the loan, you have the power to just dictate it.
See what it's gonna be.
So 13 cents is the highest we can go, no matter
13's
what?
Yep, 13's the
okay.
highest, but you can do a 1.9% escalator and a 13. So here, we've got 12 cents kilowatt hour. We've got $340 in year one savings. Our offset, so we're at 18,600. I put 20,000 kilowatt hours in for their usage. The EPC's $3.11 a watt at 12 cents.
That's decent.
So we can go up a whole cent.
Oh, but that was on an escalator though, right?
Yeah, 1.9% escalator, So this would be the highest that we could actually price for this particular deal, mostly west facing, so.
And it's taking that into consideration, the arrays, right?
Yeah, so the south facing array is gonna pay off the best. It's all production
Yeah.
based.
That's actually not bad for west.
What was the
So-
EC?
3.11 on a
That's
square
better
foot.
than Sunrun, isn't it?
3.5.
No, on West
The
problem with this one-
1.9% escalator.
at a 12.
So we're at 337, mostly west facing, some south.
It's always like.
This would be your limit.
Year one savings, 154.
100%.
Done.
What was,
So the
what was the
payment's
year-one savings
200.
on this one?
The year one savings is $154.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, what's this, it's gonna cost me $15,910.
Yeah, so remember, this isn't, they're not gonna see this anywhere except for this page.
Oh, okay, alright.
So, and actually, it's kind of messed up. They took away the ability in Arizona, so in the energy usage details, you used to be able to put a utility escalator on. So all these estimates,
Yeah, they have to.
they take into account no escalator on.
Why did they take that away? APS goes up 4% a year, sometimes with
Because
7%.
APS doesn't want them to see it.
Yeah, I think it might be some legal thing that, you know, they said solar companies can't say that the utility rates are like constantly.
3.37.
So conservative estimates, to say the least.
Some on the
West
south,
side.
most on the west.
That's good.
It's better
But,
than Sunrun.
so you can play with this, right? You can do 13 cents no escalator, you can do 12 cents no escalator, you can do 10 cents no escalator. It's your buddy, whatever. Like, yeah, no, you got.
And you can also go like 12.3 cents or
Yeah,
12.4.
yeah. So-
Like,
so
it's
they'll-
not just the every 5.5
So if you
cent
come into a
increments.
sun, you know, so you come up against a Sunrun deal and they're signed in at 12.5 cents. Give them 12.3.
It's getting a little hot in the belly, but.
Well, so here's the other thing too, Sunrun's estimates on production are more than what Sunova's are. So
I've
if you
heard
price
that.
at the same exact thing, you're still gonna show a lower
The
cost.
sun hours are
Yeah.
different.
Uh-huh.
Bill,
You said that.
raising the,
cheaper.
cause you're not even doing 100% offset, so you, in your experience on a lease, like if you were to do 110% offset, are you still gonna see a year one savings?
You're
On-
gonna
on this same deal?
You'll see less. So like,
Less of a
I
savings?
wouldn't recommend, you know, if you wanna price at 13 cents, I wouldn't recommend, you know, going over 100%.
Oh, I see.
Cause it will be tough. On the Saver Choice Max I have, so like, if you just wanna do a quick experiment, like, let's go back to the energy usage details, let's take them down to, you know, let's try 16,000.
Okay.
So real quick, you're not even pulling their annual usage at all.
So I mean,
You're
I
not-
would normally.
You'd look at it.
I'm
and-
just doing a quick.
So if it
demo.
was 12,000 with APS, what would you put in there? What do you think
So
you'd put in there?
overdo it, you put like 16 or something, right?
If you wanna price
If
it.
you wanted to, yeah, if you wanted to give them like the 120% offset or something, and
See,
still, you know, be able to
here's the
generate.
problem, is that your year one savings is just off of
Basically,
some,
you finesse it a little
like,
lower.
you know, some equation that you guys have, it's not off of their actual,
Yeah. No,
That's
that-
why you'd use solo.
20,000.
Yeah.
that's why you, for the lease. Because in order to.
You just use the sheet and
In
show
order to
them
get
on
the
the
lease to
paperwork.
be approved, Sunova has to,
That is a
has to
problem.
opine that it's a year one savings.
Yeah.
Whenever,
I
according to this
wonder-
automated
So-
cookie cutter thing, it
So
may
if
not
I
be,
sign some of
that's
that's
my
averaging
point.
18
Yeah.
cents,
I wonder if you just put it on
Sunova
deals
doesn't
that
care
Sunova
because
is-
their
is
average
just
is saying it's
rubber
14
stamping
cents.
no.
Can you
So if I
change
can't
the
show them a year one
solar rate on your
savings,
solo
Sunova
proposal?
won't let
I
you
know,
do it.
that's why you're inflating
So
it.
if you could do that, and then you say,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
why you're
we're
still
looking at this
inflating.
11
That's why they're
kilowatt
inflating the
system,
usage
right?
so that you can
It's gonna
show year one
produce
savings.
18,000
But the
kilowatt
year one
hours,
savings in here is
and
not
I wanna
accurate.
sell it to you at 12
So I
cents
would just
kilowatt
use my
hour.
proposal that I
Can you
told
plug
them,
those
and say,
three things
it's
into solo and then
36%,
have
forget
it
about
spit
the
something
second
out?
saving on the side
Why?
proposal.
So that they can
The
get an
savings
idea
is
of like what
irrelevant.
their payment would be, their post-solar rate.
Well, sure, but my concern is a lease that would still save the customer money based on how much they're paying per kilowatt hour after we pull their usage. And we're not allowed to, like, we're just putting in what the residential rate is, and then Sunova's calculating how much they think they would be saving, not how much they would actually
Yeah,
be saving.
exactly, yeah, so there's definitely limitations.
How do we get around that?
So that,
Write down.
you can, you know,
Use the paper
we
brush
give you a
on
lot of
those.
freedom, right? We're not kicking things back for usage, we're not kicking things back for rate plans.
This is where it's checking your integrity, guys. This is where you need to be doing some math.
What he's saying though is that they'll actually deny it on,
Year one savings.
if
Yeah.
you don't show year one savings.
Correct,
So
on
what-
leases,
so what-
you always have
But
to
that
show
you're-
above unless you're pricing like a 10 or a 10.5 cents.
So let me try to articulate what everyone's saying.
15,000 annual usage, like 22.
If I put it, you guys have a calculation based on that plan that the average rate is 15 cents, whatever it is, right? But they might be paying 17 cents.
Exactly.
Well, if I sign them up at 13 cents, the savings, and it may or may not allow, I've done several of them where it's like, can't do that, can't do that. We're like 12, 11 and a half,
Yeah.
10, and I know they're paying 17 cents, but your algorithm says, nope, it's not giving me your savings. So the integrity then is, we'll inflate the system to show that they're really paying 21 cents a kilowatt, so that we can sell to them at 12 cents or 13 cents, but then the savings in the proposal becomes inaccurate. Right, that's kind of, everyone kind of collectively agrees.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we just
So
have to
you
write
can't
down-
use what this shows you as your savings. You can't use that number in Sunova.
No, yeah, that stuff's correct.
Yeah.
Don't even have the export
Same with
rates.
someone that's not correct, so I just use my paper that
No,
shows.
I don't care about that. I care about the fact that they're gonna deny my 13 with the 1.9. So why would I even
They won't,
attempt
because they're
Sunova?
inflating it, they're saying, instead of using 20,000 kilowatts, you're using 30,000 kilowatts
To get it approved.
to get it approved. So,
Then also-
but does that mess up the offset when you show it to them and it shows them?
Correct.
It's only a 76%
It'll
offset?
change it a little bit, but you can typically generate at 100%. And like the contract, so I just showed you on the contract, that number doesn't go above 100% anyways. So even if they are getting 120% offset, their energy supplied by solar that they're using is 100% of their energy.
Gotcha.
So it's not gonna say 120 anyways.
So it's not like Sunrun where it says 132, 148.
There's a section in the.
It's
in
100% the same.
that asks you that.
It's always 100% because our system is going to produce 27,000 kilowatts. 100% of that is covered
Okay.
underneath that number.
Exactly.
There's no percentage ratio from the production to their actual usage.
Yeah, so if you want to show them what their actual offset is, show them the estimated production on the contract, and then show them their last 12 months of electricity and just say, here's your numbers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which I do anyways. I don't use the proposals.
Okay,
But
so the reason Bill is here is because we want adoption of this. Moose is our largest pusher of Sunrun leases, probably leases in general. And so, Moose, what do you like or not like that would keep you from adopting Sunova?
So to me, I say like understanding the clarity of how the numbers manipulate to equal the same thing, right? Which I think is what we just kind of did. And so that makes sense if we're not having, like, I don't want to show them a proposal that shows them 74% offset
Yeah.
because I've inflated the numbers. It's like, well, there goes my integrity
Yeah.
from the customer's viewpoint. Like, no, it's 100%, but it's really only 74%, and that opens up a whole new thing. I think I like the design tool. I think the design tool's pretty simple and easy to use. I think that like going to the 13 cents with the 1.9 is huge because that equals a 12 cent with a 1.9 on a south facing roof. We're getting like 3.4 with Sunrun, and this is a 3.37 ish
Yeah.
With a west face.
with the
Yeah, with the
southwest facing, which
Yeah.
is good. So that's like I look at how I can make more money.
Yeah.
So with APS's rates going up and Sunrun saying at 12 cents, right? This becomes a viable option for sales reps to make more money as long as the tools are there. The hard thing, I think, it's not hard, but it's just a change of presentation, is like setting up ACH right on the spot because they're not sure. Like the way that we close on leases is, dude, you're not committed, there's no money. Up until time of install, you could change your mind, that type of stuff. So getting them to front load their ACH information is gonna be challenging for some of the demographics we sell. So I wish that it was longer than a 14-day window when.
Yeah. Well, they do have a 7-day cancellation period as well with Sunova, so.
So if I sign up, so let me ask you this, so if I sign a customer up and they call on the 15th day to cancel, are they locked in?
So they're not locked in, they are locked in by contract. Sunova isn't gonna send them a bill, we would leave that to the dealer.
Yeah.
Nothing has to.
Nothing, just like Sunrun's is 14
Exactly.
days or 10 days,
10 days, yeah.
but then it, okay,
Let me answer one of your points really quick. So whenever I was at Lakes Power, I got ACH almost every time on each deal at the point of sale. And the way that I phrased that was, the first time that you're gonna see a payment withdrawn from your account is about 1 or 2 months after the system is installed and actually turned on. We can't bill you for power that's not created in advance. But from our standpoint moving forward, we're gonna spend hard money to get your account approved, permitted and all that stuff. You guys don't pay anything, and if you guys wanna cancel all the way up until the point of install, then you guys are free to back out at any point with no penalty. They require an ACH payment just so that when this thing is set up and ready to move forward, they have the payment already on hand that they need. And it just shows them interest level, high enough that they're willing to go ahead and start spending hard cash. Again, they swallow the cost. If you guys cancel it, then put an install, blah blah blah, and I just go into it. Kind of assume.
So I like that, but I've recently, and I don't know if anyone else has seen it, I've been getting a lot of people like, I'm not sure my roof qualifies. I've been told before that I don't qualify because it's not gonna last this time. So my question to Fusion would be, would you go site survey this deal if we don't have ACH? So if they, let's say like, I don't wanna give you ACH, I'm not even sure we qualify, we're not sure, are we gonna go site survey this account, or does this become a lead because it's not a complete process sell?
Becomes a lead because it just happened to me last week.
Right, that's my question on
It has to
that.
be submitted, it has to have everything before a site survey can take
When
place.
you say like, oh, I don't know if my roof qualifies, just say if your roof doesn't qualify, then let's look at doing building that into a solar loan and see if we can get you the the discount, 26% or whatever. At that point, we can pivot. It's no problem.
Or it's like, yeah, they'll do the roof inspection, and if you're right, if it doesn't work, then we'll have to cancel it.
Yeah. If your roof doesn't qualify, we won't touch the project. We'll have to cancel it.
But it's gonna cost us a few $100 to have the guy come, roll up his van, get up on your roof and do all that inspection.
So how do I know you're not gonna charge me for this stuff if I cancel? No one in the agreement doesn't say you're not gonna charge me. What if I cancel in 3 months? Are you gonna charge me for the permits, the inspections? This is, I'm just walking through like
Yeah.
the logic behind.
Well, that's the same question,
customer,
that's the
right?
same question that you have with anybody else.
No, because we're not getting their payment information.
Right.
We
Well-
can't charge them because we don't have the ACH.
My
We collect ACH, we then can charge them. I mean, there's a lot of customers like, here's your bill, $1,500, we're hoping they pay it.
I would say the answer is because then I'm not gonna be able to sell your neighbor. You're gonna become angry and bitter, and it's gonna actually do a lot of harm to our neighborhood. And we want every homeowner here to have a good perception of us and have a good experience. And it's worth a lot more money to keep you happy, even if you don't move forward, so that can earn business.
Yeah, I think these are, I'm just being objective right now in the thoughts. But,
I actually kind of have a lot of people ask me to set it up for them.
yeah,
Yeah, they're on, can you do it now? And I say, nope. Can't do it.
yeah, I don't, it's just in my head, I know there's customers, but it's probably, our brain likes to remember the negative effects, not the positive effects.
Right.
So in my head, all I'm hearing is all the complaints of,
Yeah.
I don't trust you, I don't wanna do it, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're probably talking 3% of your customers.
Well, it is a scary thing because it's kind of like asking for that information that makes it a real commitment. Because as of right now, the way we sell people, it's like they're not doing anything scary, right? They're not pulling out their debit card, or the wife's not like, what are you doing?
And I think the 3 to 5% that you would lose, you would make up in retention on the people that are canceling just because, oh, I'm not feeling well right now, so let's just cancel this project altogether. Like, they made one more financial commitment.
So I did try to take over a Sunova deal, and that actually saved it because the customer got a call, or like found out they were past the 15 days, and that there was a possible cancellation fee. And the customer wouldn't switch over, and that was it. So,
That doesn't, like, I think that creates a more sticky thing, like, no, I'm already in my agreement, I had 7 days to cancel, my ACH is already on file.
yeah,
Like, it does create a little sticky of a customer.
yeah. The other pro and con is what? This versus Sunrun. I'm not afraid of the transparency on it because either you guys are into it or not. I don't
Yeah.
care what you
I
do.
think.
I wish there was a better
Have that
design,
policy.
so will my customers see a design on the lease? Is there a design to show them, or is it just straight?
So the only design that you would be able to show them would be going here and then going to, let's see here. quick-
So like Sunrun, I send a lot of view proposals, right? That has the snapshot of, here's my system, here's my production, here's my cost, here's our warranties, we cover, 10-year roof, we cover this, we cover transfers. Like when they're like, hey, can you send me something? I'm like, well, there's two things I send you. One is the 35-page contract, which is a boilerplate. The other one breaks down all your benefits and what we're responsible, what you're responsible for. That's what I like to send you. And that's what I send them, and it breaks down like a 5-page thing for them to put in their will, or old, in their, that type of stuff. So I wish there was a better type of proposal to show them.
And then they're also not reading every single line and getting confused by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, we do have that proposal, like this, like I showed you, and I, if you got like
Like, I almost feel like I'd have to double the work to, in my head on Sunova. I feel like I'd have to still, if I'm gonna do a lease, I need to create a solo proposal. And then when it's good, that becomes my sell sheet. And then when it's good, I need to convert it over to Sunova.
Yeah.
Where Sunrun does it all in the same portal, I just need that whole side, so that would be probably like the disadvantage, which is just a new, I'm a very systematic person, right? So it's just a matter of,
design, so this is something that Scott does really well. He doesn't use a design at all,
No, I do use a design.
Oh,
I use Sunrun for all my designs, whether it's a purchase or a lease, and I use my spreadsheet.
got it, okay.
So,
so it's a new process.
Yeah.
the other thing that I was gonna say is that if that dictates that the price is way lower, like we were talking about before, like it's saying this area is at 12 cents and that customer is at 24 cents, I'm not gonna be able to use this. I'm gonna have to use something else because then I'm not gonna be able to sell it at the 13 whatever.
So
six.
take a look at this. So I bumped the usage down to 16,000 kilowatt hours, right? Close out this. Go back to my quotes page. So the usage is at 16,000 right now. So at 20,000, and I'm producing 18.6, thousand kilowatt hours a year. So under 100%, I was able to get up to 13 cents kilowatt hour with a 1.9% escalator, no problem. I dropped it down to 16,000, so now I am, significantly over 100%. And I just tried to generate some proposals. 12 cents, not a problem. 13 cents, it wouldn't let me. So somewhere between 12 and 13 cents, I'm getting capped. And that's at, 100 and, let's see.
I missed this, I think, too. What's the penetration warranty? Is it 25 year?
10
Still
year.
10? So everything and sorry to keep comparing to Sunrun, I know you probably don't like that, but
No, it's
I'm
fine.
internally processing it. So basically, everything's the same as Sunrun, except for on the loan side, it's the 25-year.
So you can do a
Bumper.
cosigner, that's not on title with Sunova.
Oh, wow.
You can't do that with Sunrun.
You can do
That's a
that?
huge perk.
They don't have to be on the title, they have to live in the house?
I've had several of those that I've had.
Oh, how do we,
They only verify that on the validation call.
that they just have to say they live there?
And only one person has to do the validation.
So
One person.
so it's still the golden trio, right? Credit check, pass,
One customer on title, one person passing credit, and then,
and
two
then
signers.
and then agreement.
Yep,
So agreement, a passing credit, and
one person on
and
title.
one person on title, on contract.
And they have to live there.
And it's either
So
their
if they say, hey,
primary
does your
or
dad live
secondary
with you, you
residence.
say yes and it's good.
Yeah, and only one person has to do the validation call, so.
That's a super huge
So
positive,
one,
because I think that's a
the
stupid
title
rule.
holder
in
does it,
Sunrun.
or the credit,
Yeah.
What
either way.
do they have to sign a document kind of on here?
They have to sign the contract.
If
Yeah,
they-
what is, can you pull up
Sure.
what that looks like?
And
Yeah,
then also, does that co-signer have to sign it as well?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll need two signatures if they're different people.
Someone on title and someone that passes credit has to be on the contract.
Both of them.
They can be the same person, or they may be two separate people, but a person on title has to sign it and a person with passing credit. Because the person with passing credit is the guarantor of the account,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and,
So why wouldn't they just have to sign it?
Because they're not on title.
yeah,
So if me and you, if me and you were friends, and I wanted to go, I have an example.
I was thinking about
I had a
that.
mother, father. I signed up the father,
She was close.
okay? We knocked into the daughter. Daughter failed credit. I had to go through the whole process of a quit claim deed to get the father. Well, the father didn't really want to be on title. The daughter didn't really want to be on title. But the father would have signed as a co-signer. I could have signed that deal the same day, and now I've lost the deal because she's gone silent. Because the process of getting it done was so intense.
Yeah.
And that was like a person that already signed up.
yeah, same,
With a good
same criteria
experience.
for loan and lease.
You did it?
Yeah, no, it says it can raise like.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
90 points.
Especially on like renter stuff, right? Like, you're just signing off as the, like the person on title, like, you can basically get owners to sign up and have the contract also in the name of the renter,
Yeah.
right? Whatever it is, right? They're living in the house. Because there's a lot of them like they rent from their parents, there's a lot of them they rent from,
Yeah.
I'm not talking like you knock the door and it's property management, but there's a lot of people that like their father's on title. We have this all the time in alarms.
Two of them right now.
Yeah, like, I rent the house from my father, it's my grandfather's house. I just sold a deal where the lady inherit it from the mother, but they never switched the title over, and now I'm waiting for that to get done to get it Sunrun approved. That's where this becomes really beneficial in those types of things.
Yep. And
So, sorry to,
No, it's okay. And I'm pretty sure that Sunrun does check income and debt when qualifying. So I've done a lot of Sunrun deals myself and gotten some customers, not qualified due to debt to income. So
Right, that's right.
that's not an issue with us.
Back in the day, I don't think they checked that anymore.
They don't. Okay. Yeah, this was years ago, so
Yeah.
it might have changed since then. But cosigners is definitely a big benefit. Here's
Well, I
what
know
the
that loan
lease-
pal deal I had canceled because of debt to
Debt to
income.
income, yes. So here's what this is the lease proposal, so you see here, page 1 of 2, this is the proposal. So really, all that they're showing on here is the system size, 100% offset, even though we're at 116% offset here. Let's see here, so all it shows is what we think their average monthly utility bill is, and what we think their average annual utility bill is. We show them what their Sunova monthly payment is, and their escalator, and then here it breaks down all the benefits, so.
I like that.
So just skip that second.
So if you don't like these numbers, if they're actually paying, like he said, 24 cents kilowatt hour, their average bill is really $300, maybe you wanna just PDF edit, get rid of these 2 pages, they're not part of the contract. This is the contract, so the contract just shows monthly payment, escalator, and then I think their offset should be on this one.
Why does it say-
116% offset.
On the contract, why does it say that it takes 6 to 8 months to get installed?
Where did you see that?
Dude, I've done numerous ones of these and I always have to explain myself out of it. Cause it's one of the things you have to sign on.
So we're all over the country. We're in like 25 states. We're in
Yeah.
Guam, Saipan, Puerto Rico. They're probably just trying to take.
It's like Sunrun
I
says it
think
there
that's
as
the
well.
average.
Sunrun says 180 days or
Yeah.
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
6
There's an
months.
initial in there. It's like,
Yeah,
No.
I just tell them that we're in multiple markets. That
All
can
the-
be the case for-
Yeah,
I
that's
tell them
not
that if
the case
nothing's
for-
done, we'll automatically cancel the term in that period of time, so.
Yeah.
That's why it also.
How many
says
pages is the
multiple
contract?
times.
The contract is 30-something pages.
So same as Sunrun.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get a little, a 4-page contract.
33 pages, because the first 2 are the proposal.
And
Thirty-
this will turn into a
37.
DocuSign.
Yes, so it's all DocuSign. You see here, this is just the draft. but
Can you DocuSign in person or does it have to go
Yeah.
through email?
It has to go through the Sunova portal. So right here,
What are the
the same page that we pull this proposal, we sign the contract. So remember, you just have to have the title verified, the credit passed, and
Gotcha.
then you can hit review and sign it.
And sign on the computer just
You
like
can sign it
Sunrun.
on the computer, or you can email it to us.
I hate the email version.
Yeah, that's
Either
it.
way, you got
And,
both
and
options.
let me ask you this, if for some reason I did need to email it, do they have to create an account before, like, that's probably have a Sunrun, is like,
No.
I feel like anytime I email things to Sunrun, it's like, oh, you do email credit check, it's like they gotta create this freaking account
Yeah.
They don't have to do
before
that.
they can actually get into the portal to
Just
do what,
DocuSign.
okay, so just, okay, perfect.
And I would recommend, have them just type their name. Don't have them do the hand signature, because sometimes signatures will get rejected if they're illegible, like if they can't actually read their name. I know it's ridiculous, but yeah, just have them type it.
Okay.
So if you're doing a lease on this one and the person had run their credit to do one of these 4 months ago, do I have to use a separate email?
So no, you don't. We allow 2 credit checks per address every 90 days.
Oh, really?
So it could be the same person
So
too.
it doesn't matter what the email is?
And it's not
So
associated with
somebody
email
else
address.
used you as a loan, and I came in and using you as a loan, and they didn't go with them for whatever reason, even though they were approved, it's not gonna kick it back and
Yeah,
say, this is.
in that
all-
instance, say they got approved and they didn't sign with them, you could actually just reach out to that validation line and you create a lead and you create a quote in your portal and then have the customer call and say, hey, I ran credit with you guys, with X dealer and I wanna go with this dealer now. And
And
please
you guys
transfer
do
my
a hard
credit.
credit check, or do you?
So we wouldn't have to do another credit check in
But
that
in,
instance.
It's 90 days.
in a normal situation, do you go with hard or
Yeah,
soft?
hard. All.
Are you guys gonna go to a soft credit?
I don't think so.
So I might have missed something, you might have talked about it, might have been completely different. But what protects on the rules of engagement on this? So if I sign them up here and Bill drives by and he's for a different company and knocks the door, will it show them any duplicate? Does the customer have the choice? Like,
So
what's
if
the
they
rules of
sign-
engagement on that?
Yeah, so the rules of engagement are essentially if you sign up with one of our dealers and then another dealer comes in with the same product, tries to undercut, they would actually have to, the customer is like dead set on, you know, going with the other dealer, they'd have to cancel their project for 30 days and then re-sign up.
What if it's right at the end of their 90-day span, they have to rerun credit again?
Yes, they'd have to rerun credit.
Yeah, but remember,
Yeah.
they've already signed, on his scenario, they signed documents.
Right.
Yeah, in the first scenario,
So
they
they
just got
cancel,
approved and
wait
they
30
didn't
days.
sign anything, so.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can rerun it. But if they signed, they have to cancel, wait 30 days, and then sign with you,
And you just have to run it again.
and you have to run it again.
Is there any exceptions with that? Like if they, if
So-
Sunova talks to this person on the phone and they're like, no, I wanna cancel, I'm gonna go with this guy?
Yeah, I mean, typically,
So
sometimes you can
sales-
escalate that stuff to me and I can just kind of push it along.
You can, okay,
Transfer.
here we go.
Sounds like a plan.
So can I get a whole list of all your dealers that signed?
You have to not go to 7 hours a week to talk about it.
So, you're talking about batteries with leases?
Yeah.
That can be very attractive for some people.
Yeah.
Said that it's not feasible here because of the year one savings crap again. So, work around that. What if they're willing to, for example, do some sort of a down payment or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any work around that?
I haven't got a chance to play with it too much, so I don't really have any workarounds.
No? Okay.
Because batteries are, you know, my opinion of batteries and solar is gonna become more valuable because the interconnection between APS and California and how it all interchanges, and there's the rolling blackouts that are taking place due to the surges and the demands. And so we've been getting, I don't know if you guys have, but we get warnings, usually right about now, we had one last week, like, hey, leave it at 80 degrees, turn all your crap off, don't use this. Because there's a rolling effect right now through California with the fires, the demand, the heat, and that is gonna short us. And then they start picking the sections they shut down. So I do see batteries being a viable thing, shorter than longer probably than what I would like. So that'd be a huge benefit if you can add that on to it. Could you increase the kilowatts enough to offset the cost of a battery?
Yeah, I mean, I think like an SRP, especially if you can avoid definitely, you know, like demand charges with your battery, just discharging it between 3 and 8.
Right, and is your savings calculator gonna take that into effect in order to permit the deal being approved?
I think you know the answer to that.
Last question, as far as the ACH information goes, so if they don't wanna, can I get the information from them and help them set it up online, separate from them doing it on the verification call?
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed us
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
Yep,
we
so
get our own-
mysonova.com.
Okay.
And then you'll take this,
the contract ID on the bottom.
Yep,
and the
contract
type of link
ID.
set up there.
right here.
So I mean, what we could also do is when we're done with a customer, just tell them in 2 days, call this number and set this up.
Yeah, so like
I wanna do it right.
Yeah, you wanna get it done
That's
right
gonna, that's
now.
gonna delay your
That's the
submission. That's
thing,
why I asked
though.
Jared.
Does this need to be
That's
done
the thing,
before or
if
after the
you-
verification
If you do it
call,
and they're already
doesn't matter.
sketched,
Doesn't
they're not
matter.
gonna do it. They're like, alright, cool, I'll take that.
Well, so here's the other thing.
But then they're never gonna call.
I mean,
That's
I've
why you're
had
gonna do it.
customers
You're
that
gonna
are
have it
super
be
sketched on the
them.
verification
They're
call
sketched,
because everyone that
Dude,
does
it's
those
taking me
things have
sometimes like
super
45
thick
days to get the
accents
stupid Peoria
from
document signed.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
And half the time you have older people, they can't
If you
understand
forget to
what's
sign it
going
when
on.
you're there.
Yeah, so I would recommend sending them the online validation and then you don't have to call the call center at all.
Not everyone's born like you, Jamie.
So this is gonna create them an ID or me an ID?
You and I, so you get
Very
a
important
portal.
PS documents
Where
are
you
not
want
used
to
in
upload
Outlook.
Just moved in, now he's
I'll check it out.
Is this separate from, is this still
Alex
gonna be
Sebastian,
under
this
Derek
is
Gillespie
your
or
phone for your
Zoom?
notification.
I said like.
I'm
Sometimes
maxed out on
it's
Yahoo.
Yeah.
I'm maxed out.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sometimes it does a text verification.
We got a question in the back, one sec guys.
I'm just trying to clarify, so did I understand correctly that you don't have to do a verification call, that you can do an online?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, so basically, on the home page here, it asks you to add a contact photo to become a trusted salesperson. So you come in here, you can go in here, it's gonna ask to like text your number, and then you're gonna like take a selfie on your phone. You're gonna take a picture of like your driver's license or like your passport, some government ID,
This is done one time or on every sale?
one time. And then your picture will show up right here in this corner, so that'll be your photo. And then so when you go, then you'll go to mysonova.com. They'll associate their ID with the contract, and then it'll give them the option, since they know it was sold by you, to do the online validation. And so then it's just gonna prompt your customer with the same questions as the validation call. Your monthly payment is $118, does that sound right?
So it's like they're signing the contract again, in summary?
Yeah, it's just like a quiz,
Yeah.
like a quiz of the contract. That's what
Just
it's
verifies they know what they're.
And then that will get rid of all your issues with like wait times, thick accents, whatever it is, with
That's why I
whatever
wanted
the
to
issue is.
clarify that, cause that's.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And I can,
Besides the fact that it's all Asian, Spanish, Chinese people.
Yeah.
Just log right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does Jared have to set?
He said he would.
individual accounts?
Yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in the online validation, I gotta get you your own account, and then so if you want, have Jared send me a list. I think there's a lot of people that are actually already set up,
I know I have mine.
and I might just have to reactivate you if you haven't been in it
I
in a
never
while.
logged in.
So just,
Can we get your number?
yeah, for sure.
Or
Let's see
in
here.
a few.
Dude, I'm gonna go work with him. Just kidding.
Here's my info right here.
He's showing us how to get 3.7.
Is that too small? Can you see this?
Yeah, that's.
Yep.
If
I
you
can
keep
see it.
calling me names, dude, I'm out.
Good heavens, what are you, in Notepad or something on 19.5 Windows? I haven't seen Notepad since like 1997.
I use that on the
I
date.
actually think I have my info
That
on
one?
PowerPoint.
It's like DOS.
Exactly.
www.c:/c
Yeah, you can write on the board.
drive
next to you.
slash
Yeah, I could write a
Game
board
is
that
that
would be around.
Here's my info.
breakout.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Palm.
Alright, one more question. If you got a cosigner, you might have gone over this earlier, but when you do a purchase, does that loan show up on both the homeowner and the cosigner's credit and debt to income then down the road?
We
As
don't-
long as they stay current?
We don't report debt
Yeah.
as long as the customer remains current.
Okay.
So if
it's
they
called-
default, then you go to collections for the amount, but,
And then we report it.
and you report it.
On both.
But no reason is it reported prior to that.
No, so as long as they're current, there's no
That's a
reason for us
benefit.
to report.
You write it down, Tyler?
It's not full file reporting, I think that's what they call it.
What is it?
Doesn't require debt to income, so there's no, even on the loan, there's no debt loan.
Even if they get approved for the loan.
So like if I go through Sunlight Financial and it's a $60,000
So
loan, they have
Well,
$60,000.
This is only lease versus lease, cause loan is awesome. The loan's
So
way
if I'm in a home and I customer asks.
So the 25%
I'm
freaking
gonna
rip-off
be
report fee.
refinancing. If I sign this loan, it's gonna show up on- I can literally tell them, this will never show up on your credit report unless you do the same.
Correct.
That's 12% off of our commission.
They must be
We
paid.
can't charge that.
It's just not even- So what he's saying is it's not even an
Well,
option.
I've got a lady right now that they're already bought a house, but they'll do a verification right before it closes. It closes the end of October, but the son wants solar now before the closing on Saturday. But he's the cosigner, and if anything shows up on it, like right now, he's at 49%, he can't be at 50.
Yeah.
And so if that shows up, boom, she just lost her house.
Mortgage guys, it doesn't even have to be that. If they see anything show up and you're not even close to that, they get freaked out.
Right.
So what if the customer says, okay, Bill, I believe you, but is that in writing? How do I know that it's not gonna show
So,
up?
yeah, it's not in writing, and there's a reason for that, just to keep our, our credit quality high.
So if they want a verification, can we call you and have you tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Hey, Bill. Hey,
Well,
can you just tell these people
already
this isn't
signed
gonna show up
got
on their
everything
credit?
done, and then he was like, oh, I can't do it because my mom will lose her house. And so he's on the verge, he wants to do it, everything's done, it's a big system, but if he signs that thing and it kicks out, his mom's in the street, he says, I'm not having my mom live with me. So that's where he's scared.
Yeah, no, it won't.
Okay.
And then if you have
So
to.
the loan was 199, 25 years.
Yeah.
Max was 550 a watt, half is being approved. And all loans are approved at 150,000, right?
Where you at? You're-
Yep, so the 550 includes the dealer fee.
Oh, I don't know, it was a little sketchy.
And then I'll figure out the payment on that.
Awesome, guys, so what do you
So
think?
does that?
Some Sunova loans, some Sunova leases?
Sonova loans here.
I'm definitely with the loan.
Yeah, dude, I'll mess with it.
The lease is just, I gotta figure it
Yeah.
out.
You don't have any.
Something like that.
Yeah, I could, no, I don't have anything to ask for 'em.
Alright, I have another thing for you. On loans, is there any way to put the ACH info in that loan doc like every other lender does? It cuts out a step and it makes it way more simple.
Yeah, we don't have it as part of our contract right now.
I know it's not, but is there a way to add it?
No, not near.
Yeah,
you know,
if
not-
Bill goes and convinces the IT department to add it, which probably is gonna happen.
Right.
Dude, it cuts out time for that.
I think probably because we do a validation call every
So,
time, it's just
Can I
makes
give
more
you, I'll
sense.
give you my opinion of Sunova, right? Sunova's newer to the space. They've seen a lot of the things that shady companies have done, and they put things inside of their company to protect the longevity of it. So if you can just like, somebody's like, oh, just check the box, blah, blah, blah. They don't want that to happen because then they can never get proper information. It's already funded, it's been forward. So it seems like they've kind of become like the police officers of like the policing of
Yeah.
the loans and taking away any like liability that they have due to unethical sales representation.
Yeah, and
So they
we've
can
been in the
resell
space
these ones
since
at a higher
2012. So
Yeah.
we've been, burned in areas and had
Yeah.
the shady dealers, and now we have the policies in place that.
Because of the shadiness.
Yeah, I mean, I've been selling a bunch of Sunova things over the last few months, and there's some really good things about it, and as you know from yesterday, there are some things that pissed me the frick off.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough. But
Good recovery.
I hear you, man. I live it every day. So, but yeah, anything I can do to help you guys, I'm available. Like, I'll put my info up here. It's my cell phone. If you can't get a hold of me, shoot me a text. Try to write it big enough for you.
How do you say your last name?
It's Boucher.
Like Bobby Boucher! That's what I thought it was. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Y'all never talk about Boucher, man.
Yep.
I've only heard his name, never really spelled it. So
Down to the road, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, don't email Bobby.Boucher at Sunova and we'll get back to you.
water, hold the scotch.
where do you live at, Bill?
I'm in Scottsdale.
Oh, you're here.
Yep. So, yeah.
Where's 586 from?
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah, Detroit metro area. Yep, had the number for, I don't even know, 12, 13 years. So, cool. Any last minute questions, guys?
I just have one, and I'm sorry if this is redundant, but I need to write this down because I didn't. So when I get my own, when Jen sets me up with my own portal,
Yeah.
what's the web address?
Yeah, it's
So,
gonna be
who's-
Sunova Energy
Lunch or what?
.force/partner connect. And I'll email you too.
I have an incentive to throw out, so anyone that sells their first Sunova deal gets $100. So let's just do it. We'll bring the cash to the meeting next week or.
You owe me $100, Tyler.
What?
You owe me $100. I saw
Can we do it by like the 15th? 15th of September?
First of all, the deal between now and
I've been selling it for like 3 months.
Why is my house at 76 degrees?
Nice meeting you. I really appreciate you guys' time.
So Bill, I have one question.
Yeah.
So I've never seen anybody do a lease.
Server's gonna fall apart.
Does it basically work as the usage goes? Cause I use.
I wanna look down there now.
Yeah.
So I've done it, so
That's already finished.
offset.
You thought I was doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it.
75%
What's going on?
offset, and then they have their bill.
Yeah, so if you're doing a lease, the
Yes.
only way I've really been able to show year one savings is putting them on a residential as their current rate now. The customer generation for residential is the proposed rate plan, and then a 35% offset. I don't know.
Why is it only a 35%?
That's just where you can go all the way up to 13 cents kilowatt hours. That's where the best
Yeah, I
savings
mean,
are.
my schedule is always crazy.
So
I
if
never
you're
know,
saying,
like-
do you typically give them 75%, or just adjust the usage so that it's 35%?
Yeah,
It just,
so.
what do you mean by that?
I don't know.
So like,
what part of
say
town
they're
you're in.
using 10,000 kilowatt hours,
So-
you wanna sell them 7,500,
have-
right?
Yeah.
Because that would be 75%.
So I have another
Take
rep that's coming to an appointment
7,500
that's super
divided
solid
by
Friday.
0.35, 5.
I have another
And
super
that will
solid
show you the
one
numbers that it would
Saturday,
have to be for
but it's in
7,500
Florence.
to be 35%.
It's a haul.
So instead of 10,000, it would go up
It
to
would be like
whatever.
22,000.
Okay.
Okay, so when
And
you
then
click,
7,500 is
35% of that 22, yeah.
So it fits into their little algorithm, so you get approved,
And you'll show
even though in
savings.
real life, you're helping them just like you're telling them.
okay,
These numbers on here neither hurt nor help the customer, they just get you deal approved.
yeah,
As long as you are doing the right job for the customer, all this is just bullshit.
yeah.
It's not lying,
Yeah.
it's just making your deal work.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing
MC,
this a long time.
capital C,
So when I get on the
O-L-L.
portal,
ESTER.
and I save that link when I'm in a home and I do all my other install paperwork, then boom, I open my portal.
Yeah, dude, I'll
I do
definitely
load docs,
check sometime.
Okay.
Are you always
all
not gonna
right
use
there.
Phoenix?
Those are other steps
Uh,
involved.
Mostly
That sounds
Phoenix.
real easy.
The last week or week and a
Yeah,
half,
so
I've
you
been
make
trying
your
down to
system,
Florence
right?
because
Hold
Florence
on,
is like
click.
super hot right
Do
now.
that credit verification, title verification.
No,
and
Florence
then
from
you send
here
it.
is like 55 minutes.
Or
Oh,
sign
so it's
it
not
on
too
my
bad
own.
actually.
No, I mean it's a drive, but
Thank you.
It's a drive, cause well, it's
Oh,
definitely a
so
drive,
looks
I'm
like you
just
did a
driving
service
system, so
plan.
I'm driving now every day anyway.
yeah, you're doing it anyway. Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Well, in Florence is all purchases, dude, and everyone loves solar in Florence. It's like Sun City, but
Yep.
the purchases side. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, dude, I'm excited, I'm gonna come watch it. Just really-
Yeah, sounds like a plan. All right, sounds good. See you, dude.
You too.
So I'll show you what happened.
Is that Mrs. Yeah. I think so, yeah. Someone.
Address in.
Well, I don't have her information.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to redo it.
So what happened was,
talking to you about the leases.
so you would have just selected, basically
So if we
this
wanna give them a
installation type, let's say
75% offset.
solar system, retrofit
Is it still
battery,
going?
or
Yeah, it's
service.
still recording.
So yeah, you need to hit solar system.
Hey guys, welcome to
Oh, wait,
Fusion Power.
wait.
Today we're gonna be
Is
talking
that-
about
start over?
purchases.
So we're still gonna show our lead.
Something that we like to call Sunova.
Actually, we fixed it, so
I don't know.
okay, so just
So
go
you
back
would
in
do,
and read.
if you wanna do a
I
75%
have a point
offset,
for like an
you
hour,
would do,
but I was trying to
say
get
the
everything
2,000
done.
kilowatts, so you need to give them 75.
Figured it out. I hit that
So you would do
button.
the 10,000 times 535,
When I pull it up
and
here,
whatever number that gives you, let's say,
so if I go back,
10,000 times.
And if you just wanna put in a demo address, I can show you exactly what it looks like. What you wanna just put in.
well, I got almost through to the end.
Yes, sir. No, you got it. You got it fresh from your one and only.
So you put the address in here.
Right.
And then it's gonna ask you to select the installation guide. So you want to hit service plan, you wanna hit solar system.
Okay, cause I was like almost to the, I have the quote, and I was pulling up the quote to look at the quote, and that's when it switched. So, was that service plan way down there by the quote too? or-
You might have just bumped it and didn't even notice something.
Will service plan come up on this little bar with
What
all the
is it?
stuff on the side?
It shouldn't. So this is the
Don't
only
do it
time
to
you'll
me.
see this, and
Drop that.
you get one opportunity to select 3 routes, basically.
Cause I picked solar system, and I went through the whole deal, put in the information, put in the various stuff, everything. done.
You might wanna try on, Google Chrome.
Yeah, actually,
Is
that's
this
perfect, 'cause I
Safari?
can call somebody at 1:30 here.
Is this the
Probably.
Safari route?
If you
Yeah,
guys
so if you
wanna
wanna
keep going
download
like
Google
30
Chrome,
minutes,
try there.
Okay.
Cause sometimes weird stuff happens.
That's what I,
Yeah, try it on Google Chrome.
but everything that we do comes up on
Safari.
So I have to come to the
Mike.
Solo, because Solo works a lot better in Chrome. than
We're gonna tell you like
There you
one
go.
Monday morning and then that was it, and so you sent me.
How are you looking for?
For appointments?
Not for appointments, video.
So Mike,
No,
how
never
did
mind.
you come to
Never
that
mind.
decision?
How
I both came from
Right.
high.
Yeah.
phone thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
so
we'll
that's what
do
you're doing
it.
now, and I'll check on that. I just,
And,
became
This
a
other guy that I lost
closer
the deal
last
with.
week, so I've been
His
closing
system
deals
was
now.
75,000.
But now trying to get into doing the whole phone issue as well.
the training, I wanted to purchase this.
As long as we can.
I've done the phones, he's been doing it on the
51.
solar side. I'm trying to get diving into that, cause I've been having 25 years plus on the phones. So I can sell, and then it also is a the better way. So say for example, you know, you call somebody up and they're like, they use that excuse, hey, I'm sick, you know, whatever, someone got sick at COVID or whatever. It's like, oh great, we can do it right over the phone. Really? To make them feel a little bit more comfortable as well too. So if I can also close them over the phone and on the door. I mean, obviously I want to quit your house, so then you can't hang up on me. But if my last, you know, ditch effort is to close them on the phone, I'll do that. You know? So that's what I'm looking at for as well too. And then especially if you get people that you know that are really far away as well too. And you don't want to drive all the way home. Is the other thing as well too. Because I was thinking about taking my in-laws. Yeah. No, it would be sharing the screen. So they actually would be looking at me. I mean, I've been talking to them, but we'd be able to share a screen so I can show them exactly everything that's going on the thing. So that's how we're kind of, he's built it, so I'm just gonna follow along in his footsteps, and then it's all about the way you
Well, I'm gonna be in the
talk to
area.
personality. But I was thinking about for my in-laws are up here, I would test them, just because I was going up there and not just you know. So I don't know how well I talked to my father-in-law. He's they got APS up there.
And if they ask about that, so why would they go up 4,000? You're getting extended warranties on all the equipment. You're getting a labor for 25 years. You're getting a production guarantee.
So
it's all
I just don't know what
On the purchase, it is all
rates
labor.
are. It's gonna be expensive.
Yeah, labor.
It's not that
And those are even options, so they're getting manufacturer's warranties with loan.
Right.
They're getting Sunova warranties.
They don't come back for it. Because what I was finding out because like my house is like almost 3,700 square feet, it's 2-story. I'm paying 11 cents a kilowatt, right? No, yes, right. I found another house. He's paying about 11 cents, and he's paying. He used like 31,000.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Feel free to reach out.
I will
So when I
probably
come
reach
in,
out more than you want to.
so him and I were talking about it. We think the larger their home and they're producing more power, APS is learned they're going to charge them less for their actual power for their usage, and then so that way they can keep them as a customer, because if they start charging them, you know, between 50 or 60 cents a kilowatt, they're going to be more apt to go sold, right? So they would rather keep those larger.
So put the number of your production, so whatever your system's producing, then divide that by the. Yeah, so if it was 7,500 kilowatts,
They don't lost as much.
divide it,
They got
and now that's your usage, so 21,000 for 28, that's gonna be 35.
They have to.
So in reality, it'd still be a 75% offset. But basically, you're just
I don't know how they were using the power.
It does,
It was, I guess I should have looked at their option just to kind of get an idea. But it was just amazing how much usage that they were using, and to pay that much less for power when their neighbor, you know, like a few houses down, you know, was paying like 15, 16 cents a kilowatt, you know, and they were like between 12 and 15,000. You know, for the year, it's all because it's like it's a little bit of money for APS. You know, even though they're charging the ones that aren't paying so much for or using that much power, they're charging them more. But they know when they get into those larger homes that are producing more power, they know as soon as they jack the rates up to 15 cents, they're gonna go solar right away. You know, they're gonna call and complain. You know, it's like I have a $700 power bill. I mean, I got 6 kids and I'm paying like $500
What was your
a
name?
month.
Dean, nice to meet you.
It's ridiculous. Now that they're all home, oh,
Yeah.
it's like I can't keep them, you know. So yeah, so that's my thing. So I'm gonna go solar now that I'm a closer now. I can sell myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that.
Just make sure you get all the benefits of that Sunova deal, right?
Yeah, you got it. Make sure I validate myself. Right, through my own email.
Your first deal, there you go.
They're not, that's how it is, because money's not an issue to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for having me. man, always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, money's
We're
not
trying to
an
get our
issue
volume
with them,
pushed
so you
over
have
just
to
because
really
I don't
go,
have everything
oh, yeah.
in
One,
kit.
yeah.
Are you
So
doing a,
Sunova is a
for
good
the
product.
reason
are you doing a phone lead?
It's just the,
Yes.
The learning
the,
curve.
yeah.
It's Martha, right?
Yeah, I mean, let me know if there's anything I can do, if you got, if you got a core group of guys that are more interested than the rest and they wanna hop on a.
The second thing that I think that Sunrun has done well that's pushed volume their way.
Yeah,
that
so
I don't
there
know why
has
you
to
guys wouldn't
be,
do is,
find the buttons
you
as
take a
to
test.
why they would do
They
it.
have this
You know.
test to
I have a
get
Scottsdale
Sunrun
tonight.
certified.
To get set up,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's just
I'd
like
say for one
a
intermediate
couple hours
is-
of
is,
forcing guys to learn how to use the
it'll
portal,
raise the
how to do
value
everything, and then how to
Yep.
design
It's
inside
just
of it.
eventually
So
what
then they
everybody
just
can
feel
do.
empowered to go out and
Last
just
time
and
it
use
was
their
solar.
designs. Yeah.
Hey,
So if you
nice
guys
meeting
had-
you, thanks for all
Yeah,
the
you
questions.
as well.
So
An
you have
internal
to
design tool
bring
and
up as to,
a
like,
test that I could
yes,
just hand a
with
new
those
guy that's like, hey Tyler, how to, and I don't want to like
Jones is
hand teach every single person. Like,
No, they
here's
do,
the
I've
link.
done the Sunrun training, it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So it'd be nice if they had that just to self-educate and then internal
Of
design.
what?
Yeah, there is like a lot of debate internally at Sunova whether